Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 2 hours, along with Nick.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
And Spence is here.
I've been here like hours waiting.
I know. It's okay.
Since 6 o'clock this morning, I've been here. And nobody, and you guys just show up now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and I want to apologize for Nick.
I don't know. It's cold. I'm outside here in the field.
Don't apologize for me. I don't consent. You like my my festiveness? I got my Christmas tree.
I see it. Yes.
Got my lights.
Nice. And
got my
is
Amazon package.
Is that a lacrosse stick in the back there or something?
No, it's a mic arm.
Oh, okay. I saw printing on a thing, and it looked like a lacrosse stick or something.
Yeah, very very festive over here. And I can control it with my favorite home assistant.
But you need to turn your TV on and have like scenes of the Yule log burning in the background.
You know,
let's start. Let me finish the intro, and then we'll talk about.
Oh,
this.
I'm sorry.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype, and today's show is made possible by VMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. All right, you guys were talking about
what?
Yule log?
The what?
The Yule log in the background?
What if I put the show on behind me?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
video feedback.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's a good idea.
Is that called picture-in-picture?
Yeah, it is. It's a modern day picture-in-picture. Okay, get off.
When I was in high school, we had a TV studio in the basement that was a public service television, local public service television microwave for the district, for the county. And it was cool because our school had it and we could work there. But we would have fun messing around with the cameras and doing shows on 2-inch videotape. But one of the things we used to do was point a camera at the monitor and get video feedback and then stand in front of it. It was like this psychedelic thing. So, 1972.
Wow.
High tech.
Very high.
The guys that ran the studio had access to government auctions, and they would go and buy stuff. And they would buy, but they'd have to buy the whole pallet of stuff. So they'd bring it back and it would be delivered, and we get to go through it and unpack everything and look and see what kind of gems. They might want one thing and take the whole pallet. Wound up getting a Navy surplus jukebox machine, where it was, you know how they have in diners, they have the little remote control at the table, but the jukebox sits somewhere else. So we got one of those, one with big cabinet with the records in it and a small control, and we'd use it for bumper music. And then we got all kinds of Army field phones, the kind you crank and then talk.
Yep.
We set them up around the building. Like we had a office upstairs, and we call each other, and then we used them to shock people.
Mm-hmm.
People grab the doorknob and we crank it and give them a shock. It was fun.
Wow.
You were that was high school, huh?
That was high school.
Oh.
Tell you what, man, I didn't really enjoy high school at all, but I will second Spence's thing. We had a video program in high school, and I rebuilt their studio either junior or sophomore year. I think I spent about $30,000 on new equipment. It was cool. I had a really good time with it. All new TriCasters, bunch of new equipment.
I bet you had color cameras too.
Yes, we had Canon we had SDI Canon cameras.
We had black and white.
Hell with that.
We had a full professional console, although we only had like 6 inputs. We had a super stick that you could split, go, do super through and all that stuff from one camera to the other. But it was all black and white. Sketchel Carlson was the name of the stuff.
Did you have a text generator?
God, no.
Your names?
We had a text generator. It was a magic marker and a piece of paper.
Wow. This is the news. Hello, news flash.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it was. And I remember one time we would get asked to help produce shows, and there was a French teacher that had a show on French, and he'd come in wearing a beret and all this stuff. And we would just do, we'd make intentional mistakes. They didn't know we were doing it, but we would do stupid stuff that would
put a white flag behind him, surrendering.
It'd be a picture of a frog.
Yeah, as always. That's pretty funny.
I see Alan is met at UPS.
Oh. Okay. So
why? They're such a great
let's talk about UPS. So I've had a coming to Jesus moment a couple months ago. So, well, not really. I was off of online ordering because of the way that packages were delivered at my apartment complex. They were delivered to the main office, and the main office is open Monday through Friday until like 6 p.m. and on Saturdays until like noon. So if anything was delivered outside of those hours, the package have to wait till like Monday to get it. Real pain. So I started buying everything local. Well, within the last couple of weeks, they installed an Amazon Hub, which is Amazon's, which is a delivery system that UPS, DHL, FedEx, the Postal Service, everybody delivers to. So I've been ordering everything online now because I can pick it up whenever. So I had 2 packages scheduled for delivery on Friday. One was food from HelloFresh. The other was a USB hub from Amazon. Both got on a truck at like 5:40 a.m. Friday morning. Did not get delivered on Friday. Okay, fine. Yesterday morning, same thing, like 5:04, out for delivery on a truck. Doesn't get delivered yesterday. Called UPS, tweeted UPS. Due to high package volume, they were unable to deliver the package. So now my food is going to come Monday, and it's going to be spoiled because it's got an ice pack for 48 hours. Oh. And UPS's solution is, well, it's busy time of the year. It was December 6th. How the hell are these guys going to get through the holiday season if they're 3 days behind on package deliveries December 6th?
Yeah.
Don't order anything from UPS. I switched all of my shipping services to FedEx. I will pay more to have FedEx deliver my packages. I don't care. To hell with UPS.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, how do you not? I was talking to Amnon about this last night. Do I need these packages? Absolutely not. And I really don't care. But the thing that pisses me off is that for 2 days, they put it on a damn truck, knowing damn well they weren't going to deliver it, when they should have left it in the fulfillment center and told me to come pick it up, because I would have.
Well, how do they know it's perishable? That's the one thing.
Well, they should.
It makes no difference.
It should. No, I know. I realize that, but that would be something that they should add to say that this is a perishable item and needs special treatment.
Yeah, it's just it dumbfounds me that they would load it onto a truck twice, knowing they weren't going to deliver. How do you? I mean, if you stock a truck, how do you not do all the deliveries? That's what I don't understand.
They were hopeful they were going to deliver it.
No,
that's what's so weird. If it got on a truck, how did they not come here?
Are they still all? They were union for forever. Are they still all union, or are their temp employees non-union? I would guess the temp guys are not non-union.
Well, they must not have any temp guys down here.
So I wonder if they hire, peak season help.
They do.
Then they're non-union, so they don't. Those are the guys that can work to death. But the union guys, once they get to a certain number of hours, they might take them off, or they might get off, or they might not.
This is the response.
I would think they'd want to work the overtime.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Here's the response. Our system shows that due to a high amount of packages, that we have, your package hasn't been delivered yet. We sent a message to our local facilities, and they will call you Monday morning at 10 a.m. with more information. I'm going to tear this person that calls me Monday morning a new a-hole.
He's just a messenger.
About it does. I don't care if he's the messenger. They have shitty customer service, and it really pisses me off.
What would add insult to injury is if they said due to high unanticipated package volume.
Well, that's what doesn't make sense to me. This is the busiest time of their year. And I get it. I get it. It's a tough job market because there was 260,000 new jobs added this past month. So I'm sure they don't have all the help they need. But I mean, don't load it onto the damn truck. Tell me to come pick it up. I work I work 4 minutes from the UPS facility. Hold it. Tell me, hey, come pick your package up. I would have gladly picked it up Friday after work.
I remember I was talking about it when they were trying to deliver a package that I really needed. They said that there is no such address. And the next day they put it on the truck again. And again, there's no such address. And the third day they put it and there's no such address. And they sent it back and I ordered it again and it came right away. And I kept telling, and when I called, I said, look, this is, unless the label is completely messed up, which you wouldn't know which truck to put it on anyway, why were you sending it? Why were you trying to deliver it if there's no such address? And how come the new driver found it right away? They couldn't say anything.
The prior driver couldn't read.
So now I'm going to get a 21 pound package worth of spoiled food on my doorstep Monday that I'm going to have to throw away.
Well, you have a gaggle of turkey vultures in your area?
I mean, maybe. I'll
just lay it out there and you could put up a webcam on them and watch the turkey vultures eat it.
So here's the question, though. So in this case, HelloFresh was and by the way, HelloFresh's support was fantastic. I called them yesterday. The guy that I talked to was from New York, had some very specific words to say about UPS and their inability to deliver packages. So their support was awesome, and they've already refunded me the order. What do they do? Do they go after UPS for the cost? Like, I wonder how that works B2B, because they're now having to refund me $60. I'm going to get the food. It's going to be bad. Who's eating the $60?
Yeah.
UPS? They have to be.
Well,
there should be.
It depends on the. I don't know that you can sign an exclusive contract with UPS to get special treatment, but I would guess they would want something over and above normal delivery.
Well, there's got to be an SLA.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got to be specific to, hey, we have perishable stuff.
Yeah. The SLA is scheduled for delivery. The schedule, according to the guy, the ice packs last about 72 hours and they ship from New Jersey. So it shipped on the 5th. Was supposed to be delivered on the 6th. Wasn't delivered on the 6th. So by Monday, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be 5 full days by the time it gets delivered on
Nick
Monday.
Allen has the perfect idea.
What is it?
You're looking at, he says, spread it around the UPS depot. The spoiled food.
That's a great idea.
Put it in their parking lot.
That's a fantastic idea. Thank you. I might do that. I'm gonna go over there during their lunch and just
get out there and just empty the boxes, shake it all, but wherever the supervisor has parking.
Worth of spoiled meat in front of their facility. Give them the middle finger and leave. I'm pissed. Yeah. Not because I need the stuff, but just because of their incompetence. Thank God I didn't.
Yeah, didn't
what am I? I'm gonna starve this week. I don't have any food.
Oh, didn't Amazon terminated there, or UPS terminated it with Amazon? Whatever, they don't have they don't deliver Amazon anymore.
I don't know, but so I'll tell you though.
I think that was an offshoot of Amazon having their own delivery service.
Doesn't matter.
what was
So,
cool is when I called HelloFresh. So I called them yesterday afternoon. They called me back. They scheduled a call back for 4 o'clock to see if I got the product. I told them I hadn't. Um, and the lady I talked to was super nice, and they are covering the cost difference to switch my provider to FedEx permanently.
wow.
So
Now that's good service.
good service. Now I haven't tried their food yet because this was not the best first impression of the package. I'm gonna get a bunch of spoiled food.
It could be
But
awful.
but
I doubt it's awful.
their support was really good, and they've been emailing me the entire time like, hey, what's the status, did you hear anything from UPS? And then now they're covering the cost to have FedEx be my deliverer. So yeah, good on them. To hell with UPS. And make sure if you have an option to ship, that you keep in mind, if you need it urgently, pay extra for FedEx or postal service, I guess. Because I'm not the only one. I've seen a whole bunch of these posts this year, and it's got to have something to do with the economy.
Yeah, they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Too much
I mean,
for
it's
them.
the effect of the Trump economy, I guess. I don't know.
We've been hearing, or I've been hearing anyway, locally for years about how they just, somebody's talking about what are the biggest opportunities for people that supply logistics, like people that build trucks, for example, the people that build the UPS trucks. Now they get, I don't know, they might get 1,000,000 miles out of one of those trucks because they keep rebuilding them, but there's a shortage. They can't build them fast enough. They literally cannot build them fast enough. And I don't think that UPS will come around with leased trucks. I know that at FedEx, you'll see them pull up. It'll be a generic van or a generic
Yeah.
truck that they'll deliver FedEx stuff, but they won't. I don't think UPS does that.
I think UPS did it also, and they may still do it. They rent. What is that rental? That, got a name of a racing team.
Penske.
Penske.
Oh, do
And
they? I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that they did.
yeah.
No.
Only
knows?
during the holiday. But this is the holiday. Come on.
Nick, here you go. Business opportunity. Perishable food delivery service.
I mean, I would hope that one of the largest logistics companies in the world would be able to handle it. But
Well,
I guess not.
hey, there's such a thing as too big.
Yeah.
I remember there was a guy named Tom Peters, and he was a consultant specialist in why are companies excellent, for example. And he did all these videos back in the 80s, wrote all these books. And he had a video out that we were supposed to watch. We were all in IBM service at the time. And we had to watch the video. And they highlighted special companies that just went over the top. And one of them was FedEx. And this was back when FedEx was still relatively new. And they showed a FedEx person going out to collect the packages from one of those kiosks that you dump the stuff in, the drop box, and couldn't open the lock. So what did that person do? They actually dragged the thing over to the van and pushed it into the van. The box. I mean, if you see them struggling to lift it up, the guy on the camera was filming it, didn't help him, but that person got it into the van to take it because it has to be there overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was their thing.
Well, here's the other thing too, and if UPS had decent support and would have, and their support reps on the phone weren't snarky a-holes, I probably wouldn't be as upset as I am. But the fact that I talked to their person on the support, and I'm like, well, can I talk to your supervisor? Well, she's just going to tell you the same thing I just told you. So you guys are incompetent, can't deliver my packages, and then you're gonna be rude to me because you have effed up my order and are not delivering my package on time. That I can't handle. I don't need the packages. I really don't. But have some decent customer service. I mean, Jesus Christ.
There is something called the business life cycle. And this was something was being taught back in the 80s. All these things about, what makes a good company. All right, let me click on this and I'll show this in the, let me go ahead and capture this. But the whole point of it, let me see, did I actually open a window here? No, I didn't. Sorry. I'm trying to open a window to screen capture. I actually have to click on a way to make it work. Here we go. All right. So when a company starts out, this they show the cycle of sales, the cycle of cash, the cycle of profit. But the important part about it is managing the decline, because you get to the point, you start your company, you have rapid growth if it's a good company. The shakeout phase is where you eliminate things you don't do well. You focus on things you do well. Then you get into the kind of the coasting phase, the maturity phase, where you're doing well. But if you don't continue to innovate, you go into this decline. So it looks like every company faces this. The smart ones keep reinventing, the bad ones don't, and they wind up in the declining. Now, UPS, as far as I know, is still growing their revenue, but the customer perception part of it is definitely in decline. They got to do something, because they're going to start losing customers. You can't have crappy service and keep growing. Used to be, we called it the business cycle pendulum, right? It swings one way, customer service doesn't matter what it costs, and it switches the other way to say revenue or profitability. That's all that matters. Screw the customer.
Yeah, not for a service company.
I'll tell you this. I don't think I just speak for myself. If I had talked to somebody that wasn't, if I had talked to a decent support agent that explained the issue, apologized for it, said, we're going to remedy it, whatever, I would not be as upset as I am. But the first gentleman I talked to, after sitting at home for 45 freaking minutes, had no information for me and told me somebody would call me back in an hour. 2.5 hours later, I called back, sat on hold for another 30 minutes. Talked to this lady who was incredibly rude to me and said, oh, there's nobody to call you back. They're closed. Huh. That's what pisses me off.
They said what?
Yep.
And then when I asked to speak to a supervisor, I'm pretty sure she null routed me because I sat on hold for over an hour. I mean, I wasn't like actually, I just had my phone on and I was playing a video game. But she put me on hold for over an hour.
I had an experience with a local retailer where I was trying to buy something, and there was some question. Something had to happen that I had to go take care of and come back. I said, I'll meet you back here at 3:30. Okay. I come back, person left. They said, oh, I'll meet you here. So no problem. We're gone. Oh, where's so-and-so? No, he left for the day.
We've dealt with that a couple times recently. We've got a couple of our customers that are moving to new facilities. And we go there when Spectrum or CenturyLink is doing their installation. And multiple times now, Spectrum has been like, oh, yeah, we'll be there between 9 and 10 p.m. They don't show up till 1. So I have one of my guys, I'm the service coordinator, I have one of my guys just sitting there twiddling their thumbs the entire freaking day. Total waste of time.
No. They're paying for it.
Oh, they're not. That's the problem.
They're not.
No, how? What do you do? Send a bill to Spectrum?
Oh, yeah, they'll pay it immediately.
Yeah. I mean, what do I do? Send them a bill. Hey, you made one of my support guys, one of my technicians sit there all day and wait. That'll go over like a lead balloon.
Anyway, listen to this. The FBI says owners of IOT, Internet of Things, devices should isolate this equipment on a separate Wi-Fi network, different from the one they're using for their primary devices, such as laptops, desktops, or smartphones. Your fridge and your laptop should not be on the same network. Keep your most private, sensitive data on a separate system from your other IoT devices, it added. The same advice to keep devices on a separate Wi-Fi network on LAN has been shared in the past by multiple IT and security experts. The reasoning behind it is simple. By keeping all the IoT equipment on a separate network, any compromise of a smart device will not grant an attacker a direct route to a user's primary devices, where most of their data is stored. Jumping across the two networks would require considerable effort from the attacker. However, placing primary devices and IoT devices on separate networks might not sound that easy for non-technical users. The simplest way is to use two routers.
No, that's a
Huh?
terrible solution.
I mean, all the new routers have like a guest network.
Not even a guest network. Create a VLAN.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, anybody that doesn't know about VLANs or what this and that, all they have to do is, oh, guest, yeah, let's put in the guest network.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. I didn't think about that. Yeah, guest network and here's the other thing too. If you're buying like a Netgear or an Asus or a what kind of other routers people buy? TP-Link, their user interfaces are so self-explanatory. And
These days,
they have wizards and things that
yeah.
I mean, most people could figure it out. That's a good idea though. Maybe I should put all my stuff on a separate VLAN.
Yeah, VLAN is actually, I would think, Spence, you tell me, VLAN is actually more secure.
Yeah, because they can't.
Because that's it.
There used to be, there was back when LANs first started, there were a lot of security issues. And when they started to provide LAN services across distance, before the internet really took off, where you say, well, I can give you an Ethernet connection between your two locations. There was a lot of security questions about it. How are you going to do that? How are you going to isolate it? Because the old versions of networks, companies would, like big AT&T would offer a network. It was a common pipe, but what they did was they broke up the customer's traffic into separate virtual LANs. Then they were inherently secure because you had what they call packet networks, X25 packet networks, where you break up the customer's data into packets and send them out. And they were random, or not necessarily random order, but you would have to know how to reassemble the order to read it, which was impossible. There was no way unless you had inside information and you could put a man in the middle to intercept that. So they were really, really secure. Banks would use X25 packet networks to connect between branches and between locations because it was just, you didn't have to have VPNs or encryption. It was just secure. So yeah, a virtual LAN could be, because how would you know if the two endpoints, you have a single pipe and the packets leave one device to go to the other and they're flagged with a VLAN ID? How do you know, number one, what the ID is, unless you have a sniffer on the wire capturing that information real time, and you know how to reassemble it somehow at the other end? So it is a very good low tech.
Well, the other big thing is what the article talked about was the reason of using a VLAN would be so that an IoT device that somebody hacks into doesn't have access to your entire other network. So you could.
I'm saying that's the point. That's the point, is that each one of them looks like its own private network that isn't aware of the other person.
Right.
Yep. And they're relatively easy to set up. It's all built into the packet structure of Ethernet. It's there. There are places within the header of the packet to say VLAN and what VLAN are you part of.
Yeah, but again, this is not for
the faint of heart.
All right, well, and for the end user that doesn't know, but
but you could easily add that feature to a home router.
Yeah,
and they do have it these days. I mean, a guest network is some sort of a VLAN.
The guest network is a VLAN. Yeah, that's a good solution. But I would argue that for most people, right, that aren't super technical, they're probably using mainstream IoT devices.
Right.
People like us that are buying these $35 Chinese cameras, right? We're putting ourselves a little more.
Oh, they're
at risk.
Completely secure, Nick.
Oh, absolutely. They're putting us
excellent secure connection back to China.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that. They're putting, we're putting ourselves a little more at risk. My parents, for example, that have a couple of IoT devices, they have a couple of Amazon devices, some TP-Link switches and light bulbs. In that situation, I don't think I'd create another VLAN. You're just going to create work and hassle. But if you're tinkering with IoT and you're using non-name brand devices, I'd say it's something you might want to look into. Frankly, I don't know how effective either are going to be.
I just saw something in the chat that Gene mentioned about the 80s and Malcolm Baldrige and the Excellence Award and so all this stuff, zero defects. Do you have a second for me to tell a good story about this?
No. Go ahead.
No? Okay, no, I won't say anything.
We only have an hour and 20 minutes.
We only have an hour and 20 minutes. But back then, I was working in a branch office in Poughkeepsie. We were what they called a commercial branch, field engineering, and we covered half of our business was the internal Poughkeepsie plant, Fishkill, and the other half of it were commercial customers. But we would have branch meetings every month, and they would try to invite in some guests to speak or to do an inspirational thing, whatever. The branch manager was in charge of having something happen each month. And they invited in this guy that ran a department in the plant that had gotten some award for zero defects. And he's going to come and tell a story. So the guy comes in, and it turns out he ran the department that printed the documentation for the devices that were being manufactured. And you would have a rack of these giant binders of different types of, written documentation. There's something called ALDs, automated line diagrams, that would show you how how does the machine function? This comes in one side, comes out the other side, and it was a full map, pages and pages and pages of the logic of how that worked. Well, they had a problem when they were printing these things. If it got to a point in the document where there was something that the printer didn't understand, it would stop, and the system would basically call it an ab end, an abnormal end to the running of the program, and they'd have to come out and figure, what's wrong, and then run it again and hope it works. Their zero defect solution to prevent that, so they wouldn't stop printing, was when they got to the point in the file that it didn't understand, it would just print nothing and keep going. So you get to the document, and that you're supposed to follow this chart to tell you how to get from one end to the other. It would get to a point when that place would be blank. So it wouldn't tell you where to go next. So the document was still unusable. It's just that they could print it because their job was to print. They didn't really care about whether what they were printing was usable or not. So they literally, if you could see a guy with a hook come out onto the stage and pull this guy off once he said this, the branch manager, well, thank you very much. We have to move on. And he's like literally grabbing the guy to pull him off the stage. It was great.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, it was just zero defects. We have zero defects. Well, what we're producing is unusable.
Zero.
That's it. It's like the old Soviet tractor factory. They had to produce 20 tractors a day. It didn't matter that some of them only had 2 wheels.
All right, let's see what else we have here. Apparently, Apple has failed in an attempt to block a class action suit being brought against it by a customer who claimed the company concealed the problematic nature of the butterfly keyboard design used in MacBooks. The proposed lawsuit not only alleges that Apple concealed the fact that MacBook, MacBook Pro, and MacBook Air keyboards were prone to failure, but also that design defects left customers out of pocket because of Apple's failure to provide an effective fix. And from what I heard, they're still using the same keyboard. So
when you say butterfly keyboard,
that's what they call it.
That's the kind of key switch is a butterfly.
Because there used to be something that IBM ThinkPads used to have called a butterfly keyboard, but it was a tiny little netbook that you open the cover, and the keyboard would actually expand to be bigger than the actual netbook.
No, these are just
that was the original
keyboard
butterfly
switches.
keyboard.
Yeah. So if you have a MacBook, MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, um, apparently there's a class action suit you can
You
join.
might be entitled to compensation.
$6.
Wow, what a deal!
Yep.
You spent $2,700 on a computer, and you're entitled to $6.
Oh
You
boy.
just have unrealistic expectations, Nick.
That's true. It's true. That's I've been told that many times.
Now, if you were thinking about getting Google Fiber, the division of Google parent company Alphabet that provides fiber to the premises service in the U.S., will no longer sell 100 megabits broadband plans to new customers. In a blog post this morning, which was last week, Fiber announced that it'll only offer 1 gigabit plans going forward in all 18 regions where it's launched to date. The gigabit plan pricing, $70 per month, won't change, nor will its terms. There's no data cap or throttle to speak of. And starting tomorrow, which was last week, Fiber will roll out a partnership with YouTube that'll let customers sign up for YouTube TV at the same time they sign up for Google Fiber. Google Fiber acknowledges this is a somewhat self-serving transition.
A partnership?
Partnership with, well, I mean, it's the same company.
It's the same
You're right.
company.
Yeah, right.
It's not really a
That's what they
partnership.
say. It's a self-serving transition.
That's nonsense.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the pricing are, and I was talking with Nick last night, and he was saying that the 100 megabits is like $50.
$50.
Yeah, so a gigabit is $70.
YouTube TV is pretty expensive. I was looking at it the other week because they offer it here in Wilmington now. I've contemplated buying it. It's $49 a month.
Oof.
But
What do you have?
For what?
What do you get for it? Just YouTube stuff?
No, it's YouTube TV. It's live TV. It's like Hulu TV. Yeah, it's got a really good lineup of channels, but I'm not interested in spending $50 a month for cable.
Yeah.
If I was in the need for cable, it's probably what I'd go with. But I'm not. I just have no reason to buy it. It's just a waste. Really good channel line.
What? Sorry, what? What did you say?
I said it's got a good channel line.
Oh. And do they have your local channels and stuff?
They do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm still thinking about that Apollo TV. I don't know. It's
your cable bill's getting out. How much is your cable bill?
It's probably over 100 because it's $180 some dollars, $190 some dollars for internet and TV.
It's crazy.
I know. And they're not interested in doing anything about it.
Now, I will say this to their defense. You do watch a lot of TV, so it's not
but
like...
still, it's not. I mean, we were talking about it, and Kathy will go with something that it's not like you watching a lot is different than watching a lot of channels.
Well, yeah. You should look at YouTube TV then.
Oh.
$49. Let's look at it real quick.
I'm having my second visit to a customer, helping them cut the cord.
Yeah.
The first one I went in and helped set up. It wasn't very technical on my part. Their internet side was already working. It was getting the televisions to get the local digital TV effectively, setting up antennas and doing scans on the TV to discover the channels and all this stuff, which was something that was, who's done that recently, right? So I'm actually doing the same thing this week with another customer.
What's your zip code, Amnon?
27606.
Let's take a look. So, the local channels, you'll get ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, CW, Me, and Telemundo. For sports, you get all of the main sports channels: ESPN, FS1, 2, Fox Sports Carolina, the ACC Network, MLB Network, NBCSN, News, BBC America, World News, Fox, CNBC, CNN, MSNBC, EFX, Oxygen, Nat Geo, TLC, TBS, TNT, and then your Disney, Cartoon Network channels, Smithsonian, and then you can purchase other channels if you'd like it. They've got a good lineup.
It looks like it. But yeah, $50.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking about cutting your cable bill in half.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, and you had some experience with that Apollo TV.
Yeah, well, there's a
so-
couple of issues with Apollo TV. First of all, it's not really legal.
Right.
And secondly, because of that, there's no SLA, and I mean, channels just go down, the service
Yeah.
goes down.
Right.
What are you going to do? So, I mean, if I was going to buy one of the streaming services, I think YouTube TV's got the best bang for the buck. Hulu was all right, but they've jacked up their price again. I think it's $60 now, and they don't have as many channels as YouTube. And frankly, if anybody's got enough bargaining power, it probably is YouTube.
Yeah.
Sony's getting rid of their service, so I mean, I'd go with YouTube if I were going to switch exclusively. And by the way, I would still recommend using YouTube TV with a local antenna, especially up in Raleigh. There's probably 50 channels you can get over the air, if not more.
I have a Winegard powered omnidirectional antenna on the highest point of my attic, and I can get 50 something channels.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
YouTube TV with a good antenna is probably a good. I mean, you could have upwards of 100 channels.
Does YouTube TV offer DVR like service?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I know they were talking about
Hulu
it.
does,
Yeah.
but you have to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Netflix, as long as they don't eliminate that multiple logins.
I'm looking at YouTube TV now, and I don't see History Channel on here.
I know they have Smithsonian. They might not have History
Yeah.
Channel.
Motor Trend.
You can't have everything.
Yes, you can.
No.
If you want to pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? Apollo has like 2,600 channels.
Yeah, but they're all illegal.
Yeah. You see, but this is what I don't understand. It obviously is illegal, but they are organized and everything. How come they're not shutting them down? How come they're not going after?
Because there's nobody to go after. It's a distributed network. It's like
probably
torrents.
also outside the U.S.
It is outside the U.S.
Yeah, it is outside the U.S.
Based in Britain or something. Yeah, if you live in a good area with decent a decent sized market where you can get a bunch of over the air channels, I think it's a no brainer.
YouTube does have DVR.
Free?
I'm just reading now. It says only DVR with unlimited storage space.
There you then. Yeah,
stream your library, personal library space, recordings kept for 6 months. But it doesn't say what it costs.
It's probably free.
Yeah, but I can't. I want to record American Pickers because I get to watch that, but I can't. I don't ever watch it real time. I have my DVR set up to record new shows, and I watch them. And I scan past the channel, the commercials, and
they do offer DVRs.
Everything's cool.
Yeah, it's free, and you can share the account with 6 people.
Wow.
Now there you go. What do they have? What are the restrictions on that though?
It says share with your family with up to 6 accounts.
Family.
3 simultaneous. free simultaneous streams, personalized watch eyes, customize your live guide. So,
And do they detect where those screens are?
no, well, I don't know. That's a good question.
You try and see.
Hmm.
You know, yeah,
It's,
the more
I
you
think
talk
it's the
about it,
best. I think it's the best. Well, and they're doing this thing this week only. Get an extra long trial of YouTube. Watch your favorite shows free for 3 weeks. So you get a 3-week free trial with Cyber Monday week. So if you're interested in trying it out, go to YouTube TV, put in your zip code, make sure it's available, and give it a try.
The check is in the mail from YouTube, Nick.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
did you see what's his name is stepping down as the Larry Page is stepping down as the whatever he is at ABC?
No.
He's still going to be on the board of directors, but he's stepping down as chief executive, whatever his role previously was.
There are a lot of people who are predicting, not a lot of people, I should say. There are people who are predicting that there's a lot of people out there in this executive tier that have exposure from a scandal perspective, that things are going to come to light and that there will be a lot of resignations.
Well,
Yeah.
the ones, the Google ones. What's the name?
Larry
oh,
Page?
yeah. Sergey and what's his name? Alphabet.
Yeah.
They're stepping down as heads of Alphabet,
Yeah.
going to be just on the board. Yeah. Look at the connect. I encourage people, if you want to look at conspiracy theories, look at the connection between Sergey, his wife, and his sister-in-law. What they're doing. Sergey is ABC, is Alphabet. His wife owns 23andMe, and I forget what his wife's sister does, but there's a very interesting. I won't call it collusion. Oh, maybe I will. I don't know. But very interesting relationship there. Like people promoting 23andMe as, oh, find out your family history. Well, yes, so also collecting all information about your DNA, includes your medical history, your insurability, all kinds of. They can tell from DNA what your expected lifespan is. There's all kinds of things they're collecting. You got to read the fine print to find out what they're allowed to use and sell. I've never done it. I know a lot of people who have, and I would like to do it because I'd like to know, but I don't know of any place that does not resell that information.
Why would they not resell it? I mean, that's
Right.
part of part of the cost. That's why it's so inexpensive.
Yep.
What's it? $99 for them to do a full DNA sample of you.
Also, the first ancestry stuff was very weak, as far as they were using generalizations, like the whole thing with Elizabeth Warren, that the so-called Native American DNA that they were checking wasn't even Native American. It was from South America. They didn't have access to a pool of genetic information to even make it viable. So now they're going, in a lot of cases, these companies are providing new reports because they're getting in more information. But in the beginning, it was very vague. And one of my kids did it and came back. And I know I have family from Switzerland and Germany and the Netherlands. Nothing showed up. How could it be? I can go back and look at my family history and know where people immigrated from to the United States. And it's like, this is not possible because they didn't have a way of searching that data. So it's not foolproof by any means.
Alex in the chat is asking which is the best internet security company these days, and he's talking about corporate internet security firm.
Boy,
it's all over the place. I don't know that there is a.
The problem is day to day it changes, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
you
a
can be the
company.
best this week, and next week you.
Yeah, that's
aren't.
true. But yeah, this is not something that we get into.
Well, remember how for
Yeah.
years and years it was like Norton was the best corporate. They did a really good job. I worked for many companies that used corporate Norton. and it worked well. It didn't bog your machine out, but the home stuff was horrible.
Yeah.
Were we talking about virus or
You see,
internet
that's what
Oh,
security?
everything, virus,
no.
whatever services
Spence.
you needed.
I'll
Spence,
tell you
the
what.
thing- Go ahead, Nick.
I've been using we use WebRoots as our lightweight antivirus and anti-malware. I've been really happy with that. We've done some testing with Sophos, which offers a lot of very cool stuff, but it seems to be a little heavy on the resource side. So we're currently using WebRoot. We've got that deployed to a couple thousand computers, and that seems to work out pretty well. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with WebRoot.
Funny, I had an incident where, I was telling Amnon about this, about something from my clipboard from over a week before suddenly showed up in my browser when I was cutting and pasting from something else into my browser. And how did that rise to the top, right? And it was a password from something that was critical. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? So first thing I did was I went in and I deleted all of the stuff on the clipboard. But it's like, how do you, there's no internet security program is there an internet security program that's going to look at that exposure? So.
But Spence, you just said something. You deleted everything. Are you using one of those clipboards that has multiple entries?
No, I'm using the Windows clipboard.
Okay.
Unless there's something special in Chrome.
No. Okay.
Does Chrome have its own clipboard?
I don't think so.
No, it's a window.
No,
But
Chrome will save passwords, but this was one I would never save. If it asked me, would you like to save this password? I say never. Because I don't want to. Because it's the whole point of it is I don't want to save it.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it. It started to make me worried about how I use my phone too. I have a encrypted, password protected file on my phone that has information that I can't remember all this stuff. So I put it in that file. And sometimes I open that up and look at it and I copy a password and I close that program and I paste it into where I'm logging into. I don't have on my phone a password manager. I do have a password manager on my PCs, but the point is that I was just thinking about this morning. Do I need to be worried about some malware that actually mirrors my screen? Somebody somewhere is looking at my screen on my phone. Seriously,
you should always be
think about
worried
it.
about
that.
that.
Remember years ago where they found out that, I'm sure government agencies already knew this. You could be outside somebody's house, with the old CRTs, and you could basically point an antenna at the CRT in someone's house and see what's on their screen in the van out front, because they could basically read it using an antenna.
Yeah.
It was scary at the time. It's like, what are you talking about?
Alex is asking about Cisco Meraki switches and firewalls. I haven't used their switches or firewalls. I have used their APs. Issue with Cisco Meraki is if you don't keep your support contract renewed, the device stops working. So if it's kind of like I think Sophos also makes a suite of switches and firewalls, and it's kind of the same thing. So they're good devices. The Meraki stuff is good, but unlike maybe Ubiquity or other types of switches and firewalls, Cisco's, you don't have to pay to use it. But with Meraki, you stop paying, it stops working. At least their APs do. So that's something to keep in mind if you're,
How long ago did they buy Meraki?
I don't know.
Was
Meraki something else previously?
I thought so.
Oh,
that's usually a name like that is not something they invent.
Yeah. I know HP's got their Aruba system, which is similar to the Meraki.
Aruba is another company Aruba was a wireless company.
It is, yeah, and HP owns them now.
And they were purchased. I know friends who went to work for Aruba.
And I don't know if Aruba has a contract like Meraki where you have to pay for it, but I know for a fact Meraki does.
A lot of them
So,
do. A lot of
yeah,
the hardware.
just keep that in mind. If you don't mind, buying, the yearly contract or 3-year contract through it to get support and updates, go for it. But if you're looking for I want to buy this once and never have to pay again, I'd go with a Ubiquiti or something else that does not have any sort of contract agreement with the vendor.
Yeah, but Cisco has purchased a lot of wireless companies in the
Yeah.
past. And the one that was purchased was the one that the company I worked for was OEMing it with our logo on it. It was a wonderful product, and Cisco bought it, and it basically screwed us over. But because the company I worked for at the time was Nortel, was in negotiations to buy it, and were dragging their feet. Oh, we're going to build our own, right? And basically should have bought it because it was a great product. But yeah, Meraki was purchased. It was an MIT RoofNet project that was developed for mesh networks, and developed by, it says, Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at MIT. So it was purchased by Cisco. So I look back at that first wireless product. I mean, I was up on standalone and some basic Wi-Fi management stuff until we started OEMing this product, where it was truly a centralized management system for Wi-Fi, and really a good product. And I got to know this product. That's when I was a wireless specialist for that time. And then that went away, and then we had another product that we OEM'd, and I got to know that sort of, and then I became a manager, and I didn't work on this stuff anymore. But it was cool stuff. We looked at putting Wi-Fi in stadiums. Actually did designs for the Mudcat Stadium, and for the tobacco. What's the thing in Durham, Amnon? Tobacco campus,
trail, whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. So
right near the baseball stadium.
Yeah,
actually talked to the guy that manages the TV station. His dad is retired, but I talked to the son. This is back in the day when the son was only a couple years out of school. And American Tobacco, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Alex.
Spence, are you ready for special?
Yeah, let me just open that window. I'm ready.
All right.
Are we ready? And I have an announcement to make about how we're now going to offer real-time interactive video kiosk gift ideas for weary shoppers.
Weary.
So you just stop at one of our kiosks, and you'll get to talk to one of us live, and we'll make suggestions. Amnon, Nick, are you ready? Because we'll turn this up live this afternoon. You're going to be on call 24/7.
I bet you Amnon doesn't know a single one of those devices down his kiosk.
It's possible.
Amnon, what is the first product? What is the first product on the middle row on the left?
It's probably condoms.
No,
it's a Dyson fan.
Oh, damn it, Spence!
I'm sorry. No, I mean, I recognize it.
It's a fanless Dyson. It's like $300.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it uses electrostatic force to move air with no fans, no moving parts.
No idea.
It uses dye from radiation. That's all.
Those look like the McDonald's kiosks.
They are, but it's not the McDonald's one. It's the company that builds them for McDonald's.
Gotcha. Which, by the way, are really good.
What?
Those work really well. I'm a big fan of the
Oh, they do. I actually, it's fast too.
Super fast. Yeah. As long as you're paying with a card and not cash, super convenient.
It's kind of like buying food at Costco now. You can just walk up to the tablet and order the stuff you want, pay with your card, boom, and they'll call your number and you get your food.
There you go. All right.
All right. So today we're going to introduce some 2019 tech gifts. I scoured the internet for hours and hours and hours. I spoke to hundreds of people. I got recommendations from thousands of submissions. No, that's all a lie. Sorry. No, I've actually found one decent article and just basically stole their list. but I did independent research. I didn't use none of their graphics. I just looked at their list and, here's some cool stuff. So we can look at some of these interesting things here that are
There you go, Nick.
what?
Nick was looking for a turntable.
Turntable?
Yeah.
Nah, this is not. This is what people like about this. This is the second generation of this product. The first one didn't have MP3. It did not have wireless support. It just was basically a cool 50s, 60s style portable record player. That was nice. It just supported LPs. Actually, the LPs were larger than the actual case. So it was kind of funky. But this is their second generation product. But it's called 1x1 suitcase style turntable with speaker wireless support, vinyl to MP3 recording, belt driven record player. $52. It's incredible. Just think about what this would have cost just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they came out with the Ion turntables with MP3 recording. They were hundreds of bucks. The prices came down. I have one, and I haven't used it in a while. But all right, so this is available on Amazon for $52.99. So if you have somebody that's got LPs, I doubt a real audiophile would use something like this. I'd be suspicious of the cartridge that actually does play the record, the quality of the diamond stylus and all that stuff. But who knows? But cool. If you want a cool hip gift for somebody, here we go. All right. For that person that has everything, the price on this is also pretty amazing. And I think that the size of this is misrepresented. I think it's a lot smaller than you think. But it's a Dr. J Professional 1080p portable movie projector, mini projector with a 100-inch projection screen, compatible with TV stick, video games, HDMI, USB, TF. What's TF? VGA, auxiliary, AV, TF. I don't know what TF is. Or whatever.
I used one of these. They work well. Just make sure you're in a dark area.
Yeah, they're not. The lumens are not up there with professional stuff.
But they do work very well for what they are.
Yes, and the fact that it's portable and you can set up the screen and all that. 100-inch screen is not huge, but it's pretty big. So $79 for this device. All right, now this is the one that absolutely every pet owner, everybody who has a dog has to get one of these. And I think about how this is, and there are probably 30 versions of this, but the Furbo dog camera is the one that's been featured on a lot of TV shows and so on. So it's the most popular, most expensive one out there that I could find. There are ones that are a lot cheaper. But the point of this is, with so many people who get pets, who work, who leave their pets at home during the day, in the house, all alone, this is a great way to take care of your pet while you're working. Not that I think this is basically an enabler, right, for people who shouldn't have pets, or at least not have them at home. And if I'm offending anybody by saying that, that's the reality. You're sentencing this poor dog to being home alone all day. I don't think it's fair at times, but whatever. This is a way to ease your consciences and also give your dog some attention. This has sensors built into it for dog barking. It can detect if you have more than one pet. It can detect the dogs actually fighting with each other. It has a microphone and a speaker, and it will also give the dog a treat. Pop out a little treat, and it has a list of the different treats that you can buy that will work with this thing. But interesting, treat tossing, barking alert, fighting sensor, 160-degree wide angle day-night camera, and you can talk to your pet. So $199. It's list price is at $249. Great idea. All right. So here is an example of the next one of smartwatches, where I tried to pick. It's not I wouldn't say the Garmin Video Active 3 is a high-end one, but you could spend a lot more money and not get a whole lot of features. You might get higher quality, but there is so much stuff out there for for just where you don't spend a lot of money on, for especially in the fitness watch area. You could buy a Fitbit knockoff really cheap. The one I'm showing here is called the Half Sun. What a name! Half Sun fitness tracker. I would want to have the full sun one, wouldn't you? Not the half sun one. But activity tracker, fitness watch with heart rate monitor, blood pressure monitor, um, sleep monitor, calorie counter, pedometer, blah blah blah. $29, starting at $29 to $37. The Garmin Vivo Active 3 is $139. Probably a higher quality, better apps, maybe better support.
It's a GPS.
Huh?
It's a GPS.
GPS too, so for location, lots of stuff built into it. So the prices of this stuff is just continues to come down. Innovation is there, and a lot of copying, which is producing a lot of products out there. But good stuff.
China.
All right, this is for you, Amnon. Toilet nightlight, 2-pack. LED motion activated. So, by the way, the control sits on the outside of the bowl, not the inside of the bowl. But it will, as you walk up to it, turn on the light so you don't pee on the floor.
So you can aim.
And you can land on the seat and not on the side of the seat. So some people get up and they're a little groggy. So a good deal. This is a 2-pack for $10.95. Actually, I wouldn't say this is a bad gift. I mean, people might chuckle over it, but they would appreciate it.
If you have little kids also that just started.
Yeah, little kids, or some people need to sleep in the dark. Pam doesn't like it when there's lights on in the room. She doesn't sleep well. She has to have the dark. So this is actually a pretty good thing. So $10.95. So all these things are on Amazon, by the way. All right, MPAL Bluetooth headphones. I have the earlier version of this. They've had a couple of new of this particular form factor, especially for Bluetooth wireless headphones. And this is their latest iteration of it, and lots of good innovation in this space. What I like about this is that the size of it allows it to have really good battery time, but it used to be, remember the ones that hung around your neck and they had the big blobs on either side of your neck, and detached the earphones, and they were on these thin little cords and they went in your ears. Those are terrible because you'd inadvertently pull on one of those cords, and in that particular earbud would go bad. So this one, the earbud is actually attached to the body that contains the logic and the battery, and it's connected by a ribbon cable between the two, and they're actually quite comfortable. I have two versions. I have another company version of this, which is not real comfortable, but this one is very comfortable. And I use it when I watch TV, when I want to have a quiet room. So, but $24.99, you just can't, I paid more than that for it, but $24.99. And this is Bluetooth 5.0. Good. It has good. It can be used for video conferencing on calls too. It's got a built-in microphone, and I have used it for that. But $24.99 MPAL Bluetooth headphones. Okay, so if you're sitting around in the wintertime, you're getting the doldrums because you're not getting enough full spectrum light. But here's a Circadian Optics Lumos 2.0 light therapy lamp, as seen on Shark Tank. Now, I don't know what the difference between lumens and lux is, but 10,000 lux sounds really bright, doesn't it? 10,000 lumens would like burn your eyeballs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 10,000 lux, it's a different rating system for light, but it seems pretty bright. Full spectrum UV free, and they have a bunch of different form factors for this, different ways to use this. But the point is that if people need this, I actually built a full spectrum light box for my mother back in the day when she didn't get out much in the wintertime. And I set it up. I tried to get her to use it. Of course, she wouldn't use it. But, it does actually help you. The full spectrum light for people who don't get out a lot. You can set it up so that you can have it say you have it in the room when you get dressed in the morning or something like that. Just getting exposed to this can help your natural rhythm, can help vitamin A, develop and a lot of good things about it. So 550 Kelvin. That's pure white full spectrum light for $39.99. Reasonable. Okay, so looking to give somebody something where you want them to remember a lot of good old video games out there is the Retrobit plug and play game console with over 90 popular arcade games. Now, I looked at the list, I drilled down, and a lot of them are knockoffs of those old popular games. Like they may not actually have Asteroid, they might call it something else, but it does have over 90 games and built into it. $64.99 comes with 2 game consoles, the actual base, and a USB. Oh, actually, that looks like an HDMI cable. So it's HDMI output, so you can plug it into your modern television, right? $64.99 at Amazon. When they came out with the instant cameras again that produced a picture like the old Polaroids, I thought this stuff would not last. I thought it would go away real quick because people would see, God, I got to buy actual film for it. I got to actually put something in this thing. I didn't think this was going to take off. But there are several companies building this still. They're still making them. And they're popular. And so this is the Fujifilm Instax Square 5 SQ6 instant film camera. Come in different colors if you're into colors. But it will produce a small picture. It does, you have to buy the materials, or I should say the supplies for it, but they're actually not bad. I actually included a link to the 60 picture package. Divide that by $32.99. That's the cost per picture. So it's like 50 cents a picture or so, a little over 50 cents a picture. But people like it. And in some cases, like if you're into certain types of jobs, it would be really handy if you could take a picture of something and hand it to somebody.
Yep.
So
there's a place for it.
There is definitely a place for it. And I'm amazed that it's still around, and they're getting better. They do use digital technology to produce the picture. So it's pretty interesting. They would never be able to do it if it was not digital.
There's a little bitty inkjet.
Yeah. Oh wait, my camera is leaking ink. yeah, pretty cool. But it's got all kinds of built-in features: auto exposure, color filters, things like that, just making it better. So interesting stuff. All right. Philips Wake Up Light alarm clock with colored sunrise simulation and sunset fading night light. Wow. Think about
hey.
what this, whether you would benefit from this or not. I know that some people there are people that actually do use light to wake up. They don't have alarm clocks that make sounds. So
there's nothing.
$125. It is an alarm clock. It does have it has an FM radio built into it.
There's nothing like seeing the sunrise over the dirty washes in the sink, you know.
I actually looked at buying one of these.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have blackout curtains in my apartment.
Yes.
Because there's lights outside. There's like an overhang. There's light. So I sleep with blackout curtains. And yeah, so in the morning it's pitch black. And it's hard to wake up. I mean, because it's dark. So I did contemplate this, and then I realized that they're like $150 and said I'll just become an adult and wake up like a regular person. So
well, all you have to do is get the motorized curtain thing that will open the curtains.
Yeah, no, that's the solution.
No, you hire somebody to come in your room in the morning with
in my room,
like
a 400 square foot
2,000 lumen flashlight, just shine in your eyes. There you go. That would work. That's a new service. Hey, I'm telling you, we got these really good ideas for businesses now.
Nothing I want more than a stranger in my house when I'm waking up for work.
Well, you know. So 125
depends who it is. How about that?
Yes. 125 at
I like it.
Amazon.
Light therapy lamp and natural
I-
sunrise alarm clock for improving your sleep. That's for
No,
interrupting your
it,
sleep.
it's valid. It's not.
No, but it's for interrupting your sleep, not for improving it. You're
Well,
supposed
true.
to wake up.
Well, all right. So I actually clicked on this next thing for the person you don't know what to buy for them. Somebody who works at their desk. USB clock fan with real-time clock and temperature display function. Now, what this does is it spins and then it projects. Remember that caller ID thing I gave you years ago, Am, on the globe?
Yeah, the
It
dome.
had a spinning wheel and it would project LED onto it, and it would actually show the names of the people calling.
Yeah.
It's the same idea. This is a clock. It's also a thermometer, and it's also a fan. You plug it into a USB slot on the computer or any USB slot for $14.99. I mean, who doesn't need one of these? Seriously. So I'm actually going to order one for someone. Pretty cool. $14.99. It's an Amazon choice. How could you go wrong? So if you're looking for the best USB clock fan, here it is. And then we've got a book that I can recommend here. #1 bestseller on science essays and commentary is How to: The Absurd Scientific Advice for Common Real World Problems. Like, I always wondered how pole vaulting works, right? This explains it. But you go in here and it's some of it's funny, but some of it is useful. It's actually a pretty interesting book. So it comes in different versions. I believe the Kindle version might be hard to read on a small device. I don't know how big the actual book is, hardcover or paperback. An audiobook, because you're not going to see the diagrams, part of it is the diagrams. I don't think an audiobook would be very valuable here, but it is available. But hardcover $16.69, paperback $16.59, and the Kindle is $12.99.
Interesting.
Cool. All right. Here's a game, a card game you can play based on technology. It's called New Phone Who Dis, right? Adult party game by What Do You Mean? And what they do is it's a game where somebody puts up a text message and then you all basically bid with a reply to the text message to see who gets the best. And I don't know how you rate who gets the best one, right? But it says party game, how to play. The players rotate drawing to send a sent card, which is your inbox, to the rest of the group, and they compete to play the funniest reply to the text. Sounds like it could be good. I mean, it's a popular thing out there. A lot of people like it. 1999. So this is a tech game that doesn't involve having any tech. And finally, I looked at this and I said, do people really have like 5 friends that they'd want them to plug their headphones into listening to the song they have on their device? Is this just seriously? Could you say, hey, everybody, I got this new song. I want you all to listen to it. So let's all plug in together, 5 people. Or
you actually
4.
wouldn't believe this.
One of them, I guess, would be you. But,
you
and
wouldn't believe this.
This is the expensive version of it. They do make knockoff versions.
Right.
The Belkin one is more expensive.
What did you say, Nick?
I said you wouldn't believe this, Spence, but Amnon actually uses this in his studio that's why
I
I
can see
audio.
I can see it in that respect, but this implies that you're hanging out with your friends and I got to hear the song. Well, why don't you just play it?
There's no headphone jack on my phone, so this is
useless. That's a problem too. But.
Too bad it only has outputs and one input.
Well, this seemed to imply that it was a kind of like a mixer too. It says 5 jacks for attaching headphones or iPod devices. Ooh, how would you connect an iPod device if it was an audio output?
Interesting.
Unless you're recording, right? So that was a little confusing. But hey, it might be useful for some people. It is an actual splitter. And I'd say that the Belkin one would probably work better than some of the knockoffs, but an interesting device. And that's it for Computers 2K Now 2019 Tech Gifts Suggestions.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
The closer we get to the holidays, we'll come up with another. I don't think it'll be exactly the same format as this next week. I have to see. Closer we get. I mean, there's always good for last minute gifts, but we'll see.
I see the last message by Alex. I have a question about the inquiry field ad on your page. Does
Wait a
this
minute, let me get
service
to the text.
actually work well? I know Nabil. I used to help him. I used to actually do it for him when he was traveling years ago. It works. It definitely works, Alex.
Oh, Alex, and it was Jimmy Goodman that I spoke to, by the way, at the tobacco district, trying to sell them on Wi-Fi. But this was back when mesh Wi-Fi was brand new, and it was we were trying to sell them the Nortel developed product. It was a good product, and I'm sure somebody won the contract. We didn't get it, but we were a little ahead of it. They were still building it when we were in there. Yeah.
Oh, and Alex, if you do go to the fairgrounds, just tell them Computers 2K now sent you. But yeah, it's absolutely it absolutely works.
It
Yeah.
does, and he's good at it.
Yep, very good.
He knows what he's doing. He can revive an old printer cartridge. It's not guaranteed he will be able to do it, but if it can be done, he'll do it.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what else we have. Hey, Nick.
No.
According to Motherboard, the FBI applied for a search warrant in October, compelling Sony to provide data on a PlayStation 4 user who was allegedly part of a cocaine distribution network. The application even asked for what games the alleged drug dealer played and his progress in them.
Nice.
The provider is hereby ordered to disclose the above information to the government within 14 days of service of this warrant. The case is evolves around a user known as Dola, who the FBI alleges used PlayStation's online service to coordinate the sale of large quantities of cocaine.
That's a very good way. I mean, that's you think like a good way to do instant messaging that's private, that's got to be atop the list right there.
Well,
everybody's got a PlayStation or an Xbox, and it's very common.
Yeah,
it's not a cell phone, so there's no cell phone provider. And I believe you can even message online even if you don't have a console. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. Are they working?
I don't know. They didn't say anything. I didn't dig into what they did and how they did and what they did. But it was interesting to know that that stuff like this happens.
Well, without getting into any details, because I can't, one of our customers is going through something right now. They are a healthcare provider, and somebody was posing as people that they were not to try to get medical information. So they've got a federal investigation ongoing with that. We've had to provide some phone records. I'm interested to see what the result is.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Here's another interesting one. Some Facebook employees recently told their managers that they were concerned about answering difficult questions about their workplace from friends and family over the holidays.
Yeah, like, what do you do? Oh, nothing. Okay.
So what if mom or dad accused the social network of destroying democracy?
Oh, yes.
What if they said that Mark Zuckerberg was collecting their online data at the expense of privacy? So just before Thanksgiving, Facebook rolled out something to help its workers, a chatbot that would teach them official company answers for dealing with such thorny questions. If a relative asks how Facebook handled hate speech, for example, the chatbot, which is a simple piece of software that uses artificial intelligence to carry on a conversation, would instruct the employee to answer with these points. Facebook consults with experts on the matter. It has hired more moderators to police its content. It is working on AI to spot hate speech. Regulation is important for addressing the issue. I mean, this sounds like something that some politicians should should have when they. I mean,
Hey, I'm on. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm not a bot. I mean, are you kidding me?
they have
Wait,
nothing
okay,
else
so
to
here's
do.
the bigger question. First of all, these people are so mentally ill that they. Okay, no, seriously. These
Yeah,
people are so mentally ill they can't even have a conversation with their family.
I know. Isn't that something?
I mean, come on, folks. That's crazy. And by the way, why the hell are you shilling for Facebook during Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Good Lord.
Yep.
No wonder we're in the. No wonder Facebook's in all the hot water because of this.
So Alex was asking about security programs, and here is the story that's related to it. Last week, Mozilla removed 4 Firefox extensions made by Avast and its subsidiary AVG after receiving credible reports that the extensions were harvesting user data and browsing histories. The 4 extensions are Avast Online Security, AVG Online Security, Avast Safe Price, and AVG Safe Price. The first 2 are extensions that show warnings when navigating to known malicious or suspicious sites, while the last 2 are expanded, blah, blah, blah. Mozilla removed the 4 extension from its add-on portal after receiving a report from Vladimir Palant, the creator of the AdBlock Plus ad blocking extension. He analyzed the Avast Online Security and AVG Online Security extensions in late October and found that 2 were collecting much more data than they needed to work, including detailed user browsing history, a practice prohibited by both Mozilla and Google. I need to find something else on my other machine because I am using the free Avast. But this is disturbing when security software is doing this and getting caught. Amazing. Spence, what antivirus,
He's not here.
malware, whatever are you using these days?
He's not here.
Oh, it's just something that I mean
Now,
we
personally, I just use the built-in AV.
yeah in Windows 10 over here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But for
7.
business, I would use something else.
Yeah.
I'd use something else.
So who performs surgery these days?
Robots.
Some doctors say that medical students and residents are turning to YouTube to fill in gaps in their training. The video sharing platform hosts tens of thousands of surgery-related videos, and the number keeps climbing every year. So next time you go to your surgeon, watch on the door and on the wall and see if he's got a certificate from YouTube. Watched so many YouTube videos, so he's good. Heck, you had something yesterday you were mentioning that you wanted to talk about, and I don't remember what it was.
Come on, you have to remember. I remember. Come on, what was it?
I don't know. Other than the UPS, there was something else.
There was something else. Come on, you can do it. Come on, play the sound effect.
You want a sound effect?
Yes, Windows.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not running 1909, um, if you're running 1809, which was November 2018's big feature update, if you're still running 1809 and you're pushing off updates, if you're blocking updates, Microsoft is going to force you to 1909 over the next couple of months. Unless you're running Enterprise, but if you're running S, Pro, Home, whatever else, you are going to be pushed to 1909. So just be aware. Good move and good move on Microsoft.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know how that. I mean, who keeps our SMS texts?
The provider.
Really? For how
Yeah,
long?
there's, I mean, as long as they have to deal with federal. I mean, if they're,
Oh,
if
okay.
these cell providers are regulated by the FCC in some regards. So if the police
Yeah.
want to get text information, I
Sure.
mean, the
Good
providers are
point.
keeping it. Absolutely.
So a massive database storing tens of millions of SMS text messages, most of which were sent by businesses to potential customers, has been found online. That's coming from TechCrunch. The database belongs to a company that works with over 990 cell phone operators and reaches more than 5 billion, with a B, subscribers around the world, according to the researcher. And it's just out there.
Hmm.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sorry. Yeah. Um, and we live in the US. And when it comes to the extensive and invasive use of biometric data, the USA is one of the worst offenders in the world, it turns out, faring only slightly better than China, according to research conducted by Comparitech, which rated 50 countries according to how, where, and why biometrics were taken and how they are stored. The US ranked as the fourth worst country. Topping the list is China, followed by Malaysia and Pakistan. That doesn't make you feel good about having a cell phone and being on the internet, does it?
Nope.
But nah.
I think there's things I have to do. I have to be on email. I have to have my phone
Yeah,
available.
yeah.
And I do like the convenience of internet browsing and having that with me during the day. But there are things that I don't do. I think I go on Facebook maybe once a month now. And I realize there might be people trying to contact me or something. Not often anymore, but I do like the fact that I can connect with people I haven't seen in a long time, but I just don't have the desire to be poring over that stuff.
Yeah.
Call me old fashioned.
um, where is Oh, Nick, we were talking about Plex the other day.
Yeah.
I don't remember why we're talking about it, but here's the story. It says Media Center app maker Plex officially launched its ad-supported video service with movies and TV shows from MGM, Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, and legendary Wednesday. The service will be available in more than 200 countries and territories, making it the first ad supported video service with a nearly global reach. So they have their own thing now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Movies. I thought that this is just a server that you load your own video, but now they have their own service actually, which is nice. Apple has a weird thing about their computers that's supposed to protect the user. Apple Activation Lock is an anti-theft feature built into iOS, watchOS, and macOS Catalina that prevents people from restoring your Apple devices without your permission. With the release of macOS Catalina earlier this fall, any Mac that's equipped with Apple new T2 security chip, don't know what that is, now comes with Activation Lock. This is coming from iFixit. What this means is that there will likely be thousands of perfectly good Macs being parted out or scrapped instead of being put into the hands of people who could really use them. Activation Lock was designed to prevent anyone else from using your device if it's ever lost or stolen. And it's built into the Find My service on iPhones, iPads, and other Apple devices. When you're getting rid of an old phone, you want to use Apple's reset feature to wipe the phone clean, which also removes it from Find My iPhone and gets rid of the activation lock. But if you forget and sell your old iPhone to a friend before you properly wipe it, the phone will just keep asking them for your Apple ID before they can set it up as a new phone. In other words, they won't be able to do much with it besides scrap it for parts. You'll get,
Yeah. So the T1 and T2 security chips are kind of instrumental in security on Apple devices. Um, from what I understand, the T series chips run the facial ID, the touch ID, those sensors. It runs those on that chip, which is not accessible. So that it's a controller. It's a security controller, so that somebody can't
yeah.
exploit. Let's say somebody can't inject something into the T2 chip. They can
Oh,
they can get access to the CPU, right, and inject things. But the idea is that this T2 chip, which is proprietary to Apple, it handles all the fingerprint scanning and it does all that stuff, and it's kind of isolated from the rest of the system, so that you can't just bypass the touch ID or the face ID sensor. That's what I understand about it. Which is what you want. You want your security chip to be
you do.
hardened,
Yeah.
disconnected.
Yeah,
Essentially.
independent
Yeah,
of the rest of the
independent. That's the word.
system board.
Yeah.
But
Well, it just adds another level of complication. But as a user, it doesn't really matter. It's only when you want to get rid of the device.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So what you do is you put it in the microwave and you run it for a minute, and it'll remove that feature.
Absolutely.
Yep. It won't ever work again, but that's okay.
55 seconds, I think, is the key.
Yeah, 55 seconds is
Be
more than
careful
enough,
of telling people what to do on the show here.
yeah. Oh,
Why?
yes. No. We say that in jest. This is the disclaimer. We didn't mean it.
No, I mean,
We're joking.
there was a situation this week.
Oh,
Gene, I
Uh-oh.
thought maybe Gene would want to call in, and Gene had a problem sending mail, and actually got to the point of getting mail from my server. And sending mail is something that's for sure a problem, because we don't allow anybody to send mail. You have to be a client, customer, in order to send mail. And most of the times it's when your IP is blacklisted or you have a new IP that is not even in the list of allowed. Well, I'm looking at the logs and his outgoing IP address is weird that I've never seen before and belongs to Shark Tech. And couldn't figure out what's going on. What is that? And it's a DDoS uh, prevention provider. I've VPN. And I asked him, I said, "Are you running a VPN?" I said, "No." Well, I happened to be talking with Nick, and I said, "Nick, well, did you talk?" And no, and Gene did say that he installed something that Nick recommended on the show or talked about, and put the link there. What was it, Nick? It was the
Private internet access.
Yeah, private internet access. So I asked Nick, and he said, "Oh, this and that." Yeah. Long story short, Gene installed TeamViewer, and Nick got in and said, "Yeah, that's what it is," and fixed it. So I mean, and they change an IP every time you go in there.
Mhm.
So Nick fixed it so it only works on his browser and not on his email, and that solved the problem. So yeah, be careful. What do you recommend?
I still recommend people putting their phones in the microwave. What?
Nothing. No, just to dry them. That's just to dry
Yeah,
them
absolutely.
after they fall in the water.
Yeah.
Right.
If anybody's interested in private internet access, I they're they're a US based VPN provider, which Gal and I have talked about, I think, on the show in the past. Um, there's some questions at what information they are collecting, but a couple of years, and I was reading about this the other day. They were taken to court by somebody, and they did not have any of the data that whoever brought them to court wanted. So um, I think they're a pretty good choice. And if you sign up for a year, it's like $40. It's like $3 a month for private internet access. They've got a good desktop app, browser extensions, and a good mobile app too. I've been uh, I've been pretty happy with them, and it's a good price, especially if you're doing a lot of outside, kind of public network work. I'd recommend it. Or if you're trying to do stuff like watch Netflix out of the country or watch BBC iPlay stuff out of the country, they don't recommend that, but this is a way to do it. So
How many devices do you got for that monthly?
that's a good question. I don't know. Let me take a look. I mean, I've got it on like 5. Let me see.
Oh, if you're able to have that many registered, then at least it's at least 5. Then that's good.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, because I know my daughter picked Norton VPN, and that's the one that she uses, and we share it. I use it for my phone, but you can have up to 5 devices there registered.
Let me see if I can find out.
Their support wasn't the greatest at first.
Yeah, I've been very happy with these people's
Yeah.
support. I've had one issue.
Remember, I had a problem where I couldn't get my iPhone to use the VPN
Mhm.
in my home network.
Mm.
And it turns out I thought it was a configuration issue in the phone, and I took out all of the things. I don't know what I did over time. I may have had something in there from another app, whatever, that would configure the DNS or something.
So
Took
they
all that stuff out, still didn't work. It wasn't until I went in and changed, somehow my router held on to prior DNS entries,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what blew it up. When I went in there and I basically removed all the DNS entries and put in 2 new ones, it started to work.
So they allow you to do 10 simultaneous connections.
10. That's cool for that much money. Wow.
You can install it on as many devices as you want and have 10 live at a
Active.
time.
Well, that's
Yeah.
great because the Norton thing is like 5 registrations maximum.
Oh yeah, no, this is as many
You can't-
devices as you can
Yeah.
install it
So
on.
even if you'd like to, if you want to add another one, you have to go in and choose one to disable.
Yeah.
So
I've been very happy with them. And
where
the
are they
speeds
based?
they're based in the US. Like, so I'm going to turn on my VPN right now on my phone and I'm going to do a speed test and see what, because that's the big concern with the VPN is your speed. So my VPN is now based out of New York and I'm getting 90 megs down, not 199 point, 100, 101, 102, 104, 106, 107, 108, 109 megabits down and about 10 megabits up. So literally the exact same connection that I'm receiving at home. Almost the same speeds connected through the VPN. So if you're trying to stream content, that's just not a problem with this VPN.
Nice.
Yeah, 109 by 9.41 is my connection speed through the VPN, which is incredible. Yeah.
I just ran my phone, but I'm connected to my Wi-Fi downstairs. It's not close. I'm on I'm not on the 5. I'm on the 2.4, and I'm getting 60. And I'm going to turn on the VPN and see what I get.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good price. And at the cost of $40, it's almost kind of a throwaway cost. I mean, if you're just like, hey, I go out to coffee shops every once in a while, or I'm doing this on my phone and I want to be protected, it's a very inexpensive way to do it. Will it show a mock location? Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm connected. You can choose. So I've got mine set to automatic, but I can be, they've got like 300 servers. So you can be anywhere you want to be. And then, you're tunneling out of that IP, which is cool.
Nick, I switched. Based in New York now.
Okay.
Also, and it was using Colo Crossing out of Buffalo, New York,
Okay.
as the
Host.
as the server to connect to, and I'm
Yeah.
doing about 38 down and 5 up.
Yeah.
Over the VPN.
Yeah. So it's about half.
Not great. Yeah.
No, but I mean, if you're streaming, if you're streaming something on Netflix, that should be more than sufficient.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I would have, if I was downstairs and I would connect it to my 5 gig. Or five, my other Wi-Fi connection, I would have a lot faster speed. Because I can get over 100 something on it.
Yeah. So I've been pretty happy with them. But decent Christmas gift too, if you know somebody that
True. Yeah.
could, that could use a service like that.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Spence?
Where can I get 5/8 sheetrock?
Lowe's is the first place.
Are you sure?
No. Is that a trick question?
No, actually, I need to get a sheet of 5/8 sheetrock.
Oh.
Because I'm repairing a ceiling tomorrow that got water damage, and the surrounding sheetrock, not all of it has to come down, but it has been swollen from moisture. So for me to put a half-inch piece in there, it means a huge amount of material I have to put up there to fix this. It's about a 5 by 5 hole in the ceiling. And if I can find 5/8, it'll make it that much easier for me just to add that 1/8 of an inch. So I'm looking for that now.
All right, guys. Well, it was fun, as usual. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Dina. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.